Hello. In this problem, equation of an ellipse is given. This ellipse is inscribed in a rectangle, and the problem says there's another ellipse, okay, passing through a given point, but this ellipse circumscribes the given rectangle. So we need to find the eccentricity of that ellipse. Okay, so let's see if we can draw a rough diagram to understand what is going on. Okay, I failed completely drawing this diagram, let's say by hand. So I took the help of my favorite tool, GeoGebra. Students, I highly recommend you to try and learn GeoGebra. It is an amazing tool that helps you a lot in understanding mathematics. Okay, so here I think the equation 1 is E1. So this equation 1 is E1, and that's the ellipse inside the rectangle, and outside the rectangle this is our 2. Okay, so we need to get the eccentricity for the outer ellipse. Now here one point is anyway given in the problem, 0 comma 4, so that we can see here. So that's our 0 comma 4, and let's say now we need one more point in order to get the equation of the ellipse. So here we can see that if I take, I think we can call this, I think now because this is smaller than the length in the vertical direction, so this becomes, A becomes our semi-minor axis, and then B becomes semi-major axis. So once we get A and B, okay, A square should be B square into 1 minus E square. So we normally write B square equal to A square into 1 minus E square. But this time we know that this should come out smaller than uh, the half of the axis in the vertical direction. Okay. So here, because I have drawn the diagram, maybe it is easier to say that, but if you have not drawn the diagram, you can take the standard equation for the ellipse, get the values of A and B, and then you decide which is greater. Okay, but I think here you can make out, because this distance will be very small, so you can still make out that this may not, let's say this is 3. I think it is hard, but I think you get the values of A and B and then decide. Okay, so here in order to get the eccentricity, all we have to do is get the values of A and B. So we need to get the equation of the ellipse. Um, so that's actually very simple to do, because if you look at the outer ellipse, one point is given in the problem, and then we have several points whose coordinates can be easily spotted. Okay, so if you look at the ellipse inside the rectangle, let's look at this coordinate C. Okay, so the x coordinate will be semi-major axis. So the given ellipse, if I write it this way, x square, 9 is 3 square, so 3 is the semi-major axis, plus y square, 4, so that I can write it as 2 square, 2 is the semi-minor axis, that is equal to 1. So the coordinates of this point C are clearly 3 comma 2. So if I substitute these coordinates in this equation, I think we get the values of A and B. Okay, so I'm substituting 0 comma 4. So if I substitute 0 comma 4, so this is 0. Okay, plus, so I don't have to write A square, so I have 4 square by B square is equal to 1. So from here we get B square as 16, and if I substitute 3 comma 2, so 3 square by A square plus 2 square. Okay, so since I know what B square is, I'm going to go ahead and then substitute here. So from here I have 9 by A square plus this is 1 by 4 is equal to 1. So from here a square, I think that is right, 9 by a square is 1 minus 1 over 4, so that is 3 by 4. So from here you can easily notice that a square is 12. Okay. So once you have the values of a square and b square, so we can substitute here, right? So just substitute there. B square is 12, a square is 16, and then this is into 1 minus e square. So 12 by 16. So 1 minus e square will be, that's 3 by 4. So from here we get e square will be 1 minus 3 by 4, so that is 1 by 4. So if I take the square root, I should get e as 1 by 2. Okay, so the answer should be C.